Okay, I am back, and I actually have some progress to show. So this is where I left off, basically with my eyes. Um, they are. I don't have the return in there yet or the limiter, but that's basically neutral, and that's surprise, and it's just moved with the pinky finger there. Um, I don't think so. Something I've had forever is this Palisades jumbo Gonzo, which is probably maybe a third size. Um, and I'm thinking I don't have the proportions quite right, but I'm going off the measurements I had off of that Terry Angus puppet. So I'm just going to keep building from this, and hopefully I can get there. Um, but I'm going to try and start to prototype the head at this point. And I'm going to use the garbage upholstery foam, but I might use a few pieces of reticulated foam for like the mouth and whatnot, just so I kind of get a feel for what I'm doing here. Anyway, let me get a few items. So here's some reticulated foam. Here's some reticulated foam. This is some upholstery foam. I'm gonna start with reticulated. I think. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with a piece of cardboard and then make a pattern. And then from there, I'm gonna have to get some more cardboard. From there, I'll move on to the reticulated. Okay. I did curve the wire and cut it to length, and I'm starting to think that maybe the eyes aren't quite in the right spot, but I can adjust those on the final. This is a prototype of the prototype. Is what I'm working on. I think there'll probably be 3 prototypes before I consider it correct, but I had to do all of them to make it work. So I'm going to make this piece of cardboard way too big and then cut it down. But I kind of want a guide. Let me start. So this is the original one that I made, which I think is pretty close to the right size. If you see, that's that upper jaw. I'm still going to make it a little bit bigger, but let's start here. It's way too pointy, too. So I'm going to tape this right now, and then once I get the reticulated one, I'll actually glue it in place. Oh, who's here? Hey, Philippe, how's it going? Oh, I don't always share it, but I share it as often as I can. How are you doing? This is less about doing it perfect and more about just doing it at this point. What do you build? I don't know that we've talked before, but maybe we have. It's been a while since I posted. Are you building something? Yeah, staying busy, doing some commissions here and there. This one's part commission and part personal project. I've always wanted to make one of these things, so now I am, I guess. Oh, very cool. I've built a Kermit, but I built a child-sized Kermit for a friend of mine's kid. I built a strange pork and a piggy. I think those are all them. I built some Statler and Waldorf heads. Okay, you can kind of see. Yeah, I think that's closer to the right size, but not quite the right shape. I have a very, I guess, artistic, I don't know if it's artistic or sloppy or what it is, but it's very hands-on technique for making these patterns. Because so much of this is just kind of by the seat of your pants. Did you start with a pattern? Did you start with like the fried frog or something like that? Or did you start from scratch? Okay. This is my personal family account, but started following puppeteers so I don't have any pics and videos. So I should make a new profile and showcase of my work. Make your patterns. Yes, I was able to get the Kermit pattern from another puppeteer. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I have access to some other people's builds. So much of this is patterning it from scratch. Now, I can tell you right now, it works. I mean, it works pretty well. Like, yeah, I mean, it'll still work. But I think I'm going to build out the back of the head, and then I'll tie in those eyelids. Let me look at this real quick. So from here, it's going to be sculpted. So I think my goal for today is to get the back of the head more or less figured out, and then I can move on to sculpting it. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I think that's closer. And actually, this hard part that I had there before is fine for the grip. And I may just make this part out of reticulated foam for the mouth plate, because that's kind of how it's made, and then back it with something. They had a name for the stuff that they used on the actual show, but I don't think it's made anymore. So I'll just use some fleece or something, maybe some leather. Okay. And I usually try and use something that's has some of the same properties as the final material, but cheaper. So like cardboard and what I use for the mouth plates are pretty close. And upholstery foam and the reticulated foam are pretty close. And floor mat foam is pretty similar to L200, which is more expensive. So in using all those things, it keeps the cost down while I'm trying to figure out the patterns. Okay, from there, I think it's basically a dome. So I think I just start with the regular wedge pattern that I usually use. I'll just cut it down until I get to the right size. I don't want to have to flat pattern everything. I mean, I don't want to have to sculpt the whole back of his head since I'm going to be making so many patterns. So I'm just going to flat pattern it and hopefully be able to use that for the back. It's all covered in with the fleece anyway, or not the fleece, the fur anyway. So I'm kind of distracted because I can't find my pattern. It's got to be here someplace. I have so much of Olaf still here. Where would it be? I have multiples of this pattern all over this apartment, so I can't imagine that I don't have one right at the ready here. Where would I have put it? This might be a real short video. Let's see. Ouch. This is part of the fun of my process, trying to find pieces, parts. Here we go. Here's the pattern I was looking for. And luckily, I don't have to make 8 of them. I think I probably can get away with 3 or 4. And I'll just cut these out by hand because I don't have to do 8 of them. I probably could have laid this out better. I always work very sloppy to clean. So my patterns look terrible at first, and then they get cleaner and cleaner. So the finals are pretty clean. and repeatable. Because that's kind of the reason to do the patterns, is in case I'm going to make, in this case, 2 of these things. So I want to make sure that it's clean enough so I don't have to guess the next time I do it. I think a lot of people are not here yet because they're so used to me being so late. They're not used to this. Oh, hello there. How's it going? Is it Chilla Beaver? Is that your name there? Okay, so I'm going to put these wedges together to make kind of a half sphere that will become the back of his head. But first, let me put down some paper. Put down the paper. And I got to turn on the fan and open the window and put on my respirator and all that other good stuff. Oh, hey Chase, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Boy, I got some big melon pool news. So I've been working on the melon pool website, and all the original archives are back up on Comic Fury now. So if you want to get, and I'm in the process of organizing the archives. And then as of today, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but as of today, I'm going to start in the next couple of weeks posting the last 2 years of the updated strip daily. Eventually, I think, now this is, again, as of today, figuring this out, I'm going to start, I'm actually going to finish up that last storyline and have that available for people. So I figure that's kind of big news for Melon Pool. To actually have that final stuff done. And eventually, I don't know if this will ever happen, I would love to get all the Color Sundays restored on the website as well. But that might be a bigger story, bigger undertaking at some point. All this just to glue 4 pieces of foam. Okay. And the other plan, well, I'll tell you this after I get the respirator off. But I'm actually going to have some more content on the Melon Pool website coming up too. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, time just kind of stood still on the old website after about 2016. So I wanted to set this one up so that it'll stand the test of time. Maybe someday I'll actually get what I always intended to do, which is set up like a bunch of files 30 years in the future that would update long after I'm gone and call it Comics from Beyond the Grave, which would be the final meaningful comics that would update like years after I died. And if I, for whatever reason, was still alive in my 80s, I could reset the timeline so that they would update maybe 10 years after that. Because I like to keep my fans on the edge of their seats. Now, this is going to be way too round. I know that already, but I have to start somewhere. And a round shape is the easiest for me to wrap my mind around. I have no idea when that short's going to be done, but I'll tell you what.
I'm doing more animation right now, so I could very but well go into that next year and hopefully get it done within the next year. Because all those buttons that are on their current website, I plan to animate. So, and I also the book trailer I want to finish. That's actually what I'll do next. Is I'll do the book trailer, and I'm going to finish a couple more scenes from the comic from the movie to do that to finish that. And so, with a couple more of those done, I may actually just spend a couple of months finishing that as well. But again, I have so many things on my plate right now. It's just about once I finish one thing, I'm able to finish 3 more. So I'm going to get through the 5 more commissions that I have set up. And then plus this. And then we'll see where I get. Okay, so I think I only needed 3 of these things. Okay, so this is its size. And that's what I'm building, that part of it. I'm trying to get this shape. So I think as far as this goes, take off a little bit off of here. That. And I'll true everything up to make it work at some point. Probably offline. Or maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Okay. So that go on there like that. still not quite the right shape, but it's close. And I can add wedges back on as I go to change the shape. I don't think I have enough of it yet. Okay. I don't think I have seen stalled Trek. I don't know what that is. Hi there. Is it Igor? Igor? Snake? Well, I tell you, I start building Gonzo and people come out of the woodwork. Okay, so I need a little bit more on the back of this. Well, welcome. This may not look too much like Gonzo today, but it's all part of a process. So I'm going to attach this to the back here and then alter it. Thank you.
Oh, this is just a toy. This is what I'm building right here. So I guess Stalled Trek is a 3D animated puppet parody. Yeah, no, I've never seen. I'll have to look it up. There was a guy that used to do something called Sev Trek, which I used to follow, and it started out as almost like a Simpsons type illustrated comic thing that covered all the different Trek franchises. I followed him for a while, and I know he started doing some stuff in 3D. I wonder if it's the same guy. I bought one of his books at one point. All right, I'll see you later. Good seeing you briefly, Chase. All right, so here we got my drawing.
Take the respirator off here. I probably should darken this in so we can all see it. This is where the feathers come out. So I'm just kind of eyeballing what needs to come away. And if I don't need it, and if I need it, I can always glue it back. Oh, very cool, Homer. Did you see the Zoidberg I built? That was something I did on this feed at one point. And at the end of this day, I may not have a skull that's going to be close, but at least I did something on it, right?
So this is the process of how I do the patterns.
So basically the process is that I usually start out with this wedge pattern, which you can get off my website. You can go to puppettroop.com. You have this wedge pattern, and then you make spheres, and you can make ovals and things like that, and you get the basic shapes, and then you just keep adding and subtracting notches until you start altering the shape. You can see how this is no longer a sphere. It's more like a half of a football now. Still needs a little bit of work. And then you add and subtract until you get the different shapes that you want. Then you cut it all apart and make it flat, and then you end up getting your patterns that way. That's kind of how I do it. Could also, you could make a pattern. You could put tape on this and figure out a pattern that way, but I don't do that very often. I've done it a few times. I did it a few times when I was making Olaf. So this is all going to be foam. So it's going to tie in here. Let's see. Tie in here like so. And the nose part's going to come off of here. I may have to actually start trimming that piece of pattern coming up. Let's see. This phone's killing me. So that goes there. That goes there. It's looking a little big. But I can always shrink it down if it gets too big. It's really hard to judge this until I get it all together. I may make a temporary piece out of foam here that'll be the beak that I'll replace later. I wonder if I should do that. This makes you be too big. So I'm actually trying to make this red part. It's kind of where I'm going for. So that's why I keep trimming it back a little bit. And that may need to go a little smaller. In fact, I think it does. I'll just keep trimming and trimming until it's I have to start over from scratch. Okay. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and start to figure out this nose. That's why you all came here anyway. Big lump of nose. Now I'd like to not. I have two of these, and I've got to be able to make two noses out of each block. So actually, I have enough leeway to make two bad ones. So this might be the first of the bad ones. I'm still here. Just a second. See how much I actually need of this to start. So that's my insulin thing. It's just a little. I need to get something to eat just real quick. So I'm a diabetic, and so that tells me my blood sugar is too low. Okay, so I know it needs to be this wide, at least, so I can mark how much I need of it. I'm going to grossly overestimate so that way I don't mess it up. I cut this much. I don't know if you can see, but I cut a notch out of it originally because I was going to make the eyelids out of it, and I may still do that. But let me see what I'm doing here. I think I'll cut. It like that, and then make the nose out of this part, and then that should be enough to make 2 more noses out of this. Here goes nothing. And this is a turkey carver. I'm sure a lot of you have used this before for this same purpose. I've never carved a turkey, but I certainly have used this enough. Cuts like butter. Now, a lot of people just they carve. I mean, I think the real ones are made this way too. They actually carve Gonzo right out of this full-on block of foam. Gonna be cutting it real close. Okay, so I think my best bet is to cut this out of the paper. Okay, there's his head. Trying to see how this is going to go together. Okay. And I'm going to make this part. And actually, this mouth is going to be all one piece. So I do have a little bit more room than I thought. Okay. Ta-da! Actually, I need a little bit more than that. I need to that. So wait, this is going to go. Oh, no, I'm okay. Boy, there's a lot less foam I'm just like marking out where the fur covers. Okay, we're good. Okay, and I only need about half this width. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. But we'll start here and cut it down. I feel like I'm just throwing money away every time I cut that out. But okay, I want to make sure that I cut bigger than I need. Sorry, I'm not being real talkative right now. This is all very by the seat of my pants here. What did I do with my pen? Just want to make sure I can keep this straight. Nothing's gonna be worse than me messing this up. But actually, this is just a prototype, so if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Looks like I've already messed it up. I'm not over yet. Okay, let's see. Oh, I've never been under so much stress. Okay. Once I have the first one figured out, I can make some more accurate patterns. Okay, here we go. I honestly didn't think I was going to be doing this today. There, we're done. No, okay. Okay, these are my foam scissors, but you can tell because it says foam right on the side, and they're slightly duller than every other pair of scissors I have. So okay, so it's kind of rounded here. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I just got to be not stressing out. That's a big old schnoz. Oh, I probably don't need this much. So that's going to be the upper body, upper lip. Could probably take the razor blade to it too. Let me do that. I know this looks wrong, but a lot of this is going to be cut away. In fact, a lot of that will be cut away here. I wonder if I should do that right now. I'm going to do it just a little bigger than I need. And then once I get that jaw figured out. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, it's been a mainstay of many a puppeteer. In fact, I understand the original Audrey 2 was carved from a piece of one of these exact things. I was joking with my cousin as he was actually carving the turkey. I said, "Oh, so that's what that's used for." Okay, so I've already got to thin this out a little bit. So there goes nothing. And the other thing I'm trying not to do is actually cut myself. So if I suddenly get demonetized, you'll know why. Not that I'm getting any money off of this. It's like Michelangelo, you know, cutting away everything that's not Gonzo here. Looks like I already cut a little too deep there. This is why I don't do this a lot, because I hate doing this. I hate cutting foam. I much prefer making flat patterns. Okay, I've already cut that way too sharp. This may end up looking like the one that got his nose caught in the elevator door in Muppets, Great Muppet Caper. I had a friend that made and sold burlesque hip pads with a turkey knife. Gonzo is one of my favorite characters. Yeah, mine too. I this one and Scooter. Those are my two favorites of the Muppets. I'm glad I bought 2 blocks of foam because I can already see things that are driving me crazy about this. I guess if I fail miserably at this, I can just make Camilla the chicken. One thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to get my sewing scissors out of here, because invariably I'm going to grab them and dull them up. Okay, so that needs to come back. Yeah, I like Scooter, and everybody knows that watches my thing. They know why I like Scooter so much. It's because I do a pretty good Scooter voice, which is, my uncle who owns this theater sure isn't going to like this. Like disguising their car so they won't be recognized. That was terrible. You get the idea. This will be good to have this one too, because I can do dye tests on it and stuff to make sure I know what I'm doing as far as the color goes too. I'm just trying to talk myself up for how much I'm mangling this thing. Okay. I saw an interview with Dave Goelz one time. Actually, it was at Muppet Fest years ago, and he was there, and he was talking about how every 5 years or so the noses on Gonzo rot, and so they every 5 years they have to sculpt brand new Gonzos, and so he'll get a package of a big box with half a dozen heads in there, or maybe more, that have been sculpted by the people at Henson, or maybe at Puppet Heap now. And he basically tries them all out, and the ones that he feels are closest or the right shape and everything else, he'll okay, and then those become the Gonzos for those 5 years. So they have a lot that get almost the way there and then are rejected at that point. You can see where I put a big gouge in it there. That may not be a mistake. I mean, it's starting to look like something. BJ's really good at this. He carves this way a lot. See, one thing about having to make that head from scratch is I could get it perfect on the outside, and then you have to hollow it out, and you could ruin it so easily by just going a little too close to the foam. So that's another reason I don't want to do the whole head that way. Oh, I switched cameras accidentally. A big chunk of foam hit the camera, hit the button. Oh, hey BJ, how's it going? Yeah, you're really good at this. This is only maybe the second thing I've ever carved. I didn't even know you were here. Oh boy. Have I mentioned this is stressing me out? It's slightly crooked. It's also still a little thick too, so I think I can fix it. Thank you, BJ. I'll probably drop the knife and lop the whole thing off. Okay, I think that curve needs to go up a little bit more. I'm going for a 19, like Muppet movie Gonzo is what I want for mine. He has a little bit different look. I do have a belt sander. I'm hesitant to even try the belt sander on this. You get away from me so fast. Well, a belt sander would take that. Maybe I'll use a Dremel. You know, when I was building Ralphie, I got flagged for indecent content. Hopefully, this thing's not gonna get me nailed. Okay. All right, now I've got to figure out the curve of this mouth. Well, this is just the prototype, so maybe I'll try that. Okay, I'm gonna cut off this bottom jaw. Oh boy. At least now I know. Okay, so then it kind of tapers at the top, and then rounds out at the bottom. This is why I watch hoof trimming videos online. Okay, gives me inspiration on how to carve things. Okay. That scared me, those memories after all that work. What scared you? Oh, what happened to that lip? There it is. I gotta make sure I don't lose that. It's starting to look like something. Sorry, I'm probably not showing you too much. Making larger cuts after sculpting scares me because the nose looks good. Oh, thank you. Actually, it's not too bad. I mean, there's one little area here that I cut a little. See, I cut a little too much, but that's okay. I'll know that on the next one not to do that. It's still a little crooked, but that's okay. Like I said, this is the Gonzo that got stuck in the elevator in Muppets Take, or Muppet Great Muppet Caper. It does look terrible. All right, where's my eyes? Okay, so let me clean this up a little bit. All right. Now, I don't want to cut out too much of that. I'm gonna have to clean up this area. This may be the end of this coming up. Okay. That's not terrible. I'm gonna say that's basically where it's gonna be on this prototype, at least. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot on that. It's a little crooked. So I need to cut away some of that eye, and I think the eyes need to be higher. And I may take these eyes off the screws and then sandwich a flap of this underneath it. I was thinking about that. Let me see what I can do. I need to go to the bar after this. Okay. I did not know I was going to be carving this today. I didn't think I would even get to this today. Okay. So that's going to go. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. So that has to go all the way back in here. Sorry, that has to go all the way back this far. So that gets back to our original size of that mouth plate. Oh, that's interesting. I may have to think about this a little bit more. I should have kept this out. I don't remember what size nut is on here. It might be this. Yep. So I think what I'll do is I'll loosen this and put a couple slits in the top of that thing and just slide them up. Actually, it'd be better to put holes through. I'll do it the right way. As you can see, I'm just putting this what do you call it, socket in here, kind of twisting it with my finger because it's so small in here. I can't get a ratchet in there. Probably never get this thing back on. Yeah, it is. Good thing I got tiny little fingers. There we go. Okay. All right, so now this will fit up in here once I cut away more of this. I don't want to go too deep. I want to make sure I know where my fingers are. I'd like to say this was all according to plan. I'm just kind of winging it. Okay, still haven't gone too deep, which is good. That fits on there pretty well. Okay. All right. And I think maybe I just need to cut this back a little bit before I do anything else. Probably was a mistake for me not to have trued this up before I went too much farther. So I do need to cut a little bit more of that away. I need to cut away just a little bit more of this. This is where I go wrong, I'm sure. I'm so happy I'm not going to, well, I say this now, I may do it. I might find out that I can't flat foam the back, but at this point, I'm so happy I don't have to do this for the whole head. I don't know how you do it, BJ. Okay, there we go. That goes on there. And it still needs to go back a little farther. That goes on there. This needs to be cut away. Here we go. This may be where I just ruined it. All right, I don't see daylight yet, which is good. Okay. Then I get pushed down. I thought it was going to sandwich between these two pieces, but I don't have enough foam there. How did I get that on before? Oh, that's just taped. Oh, no, I did glue it. Okay, well. I think I have some of these screws that are a little shorter. Oh, there we go. Okay. I put these on backwards last time. Okay, got it. This is my teeny tiny little fingers here. All right. Okay, so on the final one, I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, so wait. So I didn't have to take those eyes off, all that, but seems like every time I even this out, I come back and it's off again. Okay, there we go. I think the eyes are too low now, so on the final, I'll have to make that a little bit higher, I think. Actually. Okay. Okay, so here's what I've learned. I need more material back here because this needs to go all the way back to here. I wonder if I could. If there's enough room to push that forward. No, so I see how this bend part here, that needs to go all the way back to here. So next time I'm going to make it a little longer. But otherwise, it's about the right shape. I've got to get these eyes in place, and they do need to be a little higher. I wonder. yeah, we're gonna just this will be enough of a prototype to let me at least figure out the final. Let's see. Gonzo is not a weirdo, though. He may be strange and eccentric, but he's cool and a great guy. He's a self-proclaimed weirdo. Good luck with Gonzo. I would love to make puppets, especially the Muppets. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, oh my gosh. I got it. You're right, whoever said it. This is really tough to do this. Should never have taken these off. Is that even tightening it? So this is the what is this? Okay, this is the 5mm. Let me get the 4 and see if that fits. Oh, this is the, let's see. I feel like it's not quite biting down on it. That's just spinning. Okay, let me get the next smaller one. The hardest part is all these bits are everywhere. They all fell out of their holders, so I just... Oh, there we go. Choit. Okay, his visor back on. At least I got that. This goes on here like that. was getting mighty thin here, so I got to be careful. Probably this is the last of the cuts I can do in this. Whew. Now on the final one, I'm going to line this whole thing. But for now. Okay. Getting mighty thin. Okay, I'm going to glue this in place now. Almost fits. Okay, let me clean up some of this mess. I should probably make a reticulated foam mouth plate right now. But yeah. You see how thin it's gotten there? I probably should order a few more of these blocks of foam.
And there will not be cardboard in the final one. For this amount of gas tape. Well, it's a little short. It's, like I said, the eyes need to be higher, but now I know that. The neck still works, so that's good.
Here's what's left of his lower jaw. Yeah, I'll have to do some work on this. So I'm going to do work on that tomorrow. And like I said, there's a gap here still, so I need to figure that out. That was a really good test run. I know it's not perfect, but it's getting there. Okay, I'm going to glue that on now too. And then I'm going to call it a day.
But again, I'm doing this right now. I'm still seeing this as a work in progress. This is not my final. So
So that's starting to kind of look like something. Where's the mech? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I need to trim that away. I'll trim that away too. Guess now we're going to find out if this glue is going to melt these ping pong balls. Okay. I still have to figure out the front, but I mean, where's the trigger? There it is. So the trigger still works. It doesn't have the resistance on it yet, but it still goes down and up. You can see how crooked that nose is. I'll have to watch that on the next one. Where's this lower jaw? Oh, there, we're done. No. This would be the lower. Yeah, I'm not going to rush this lower jaw. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But hey, I'm pretty happy with this. Hopefully it was worth watching. I wonder. Just a second. I'm going to do one more thing. I know that there's a buildup here. You can see it here. There's a buildup right there that the eyes go into. I'm not going to do that part just yet. I just want to see if I can get that working. I'm going to make a couple of these. Let me make a pattern real quick. Let's see. Here goes nothing. One. Okay. I swear I'm almost to the end of this for today.
I have no idea where these are going to land, but I'm just going to guess. I've got glue all over the eye, but I don't really care.
Okay. So knowing where this needs to be attached is going to be the be a trick. So I have to make sure they're nice and forward before I attach them in place. Yeah, I haven't quite figured this out yet. That still works. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, here we go. So I got these eyelids. They're not perfect, but yeah, I think I'm on to something here. I mean, I'm still getting quite a bit of movement out of those things. Oh, this is awesome. All righty. Well, I'm halfway tempted to make the lower jaw right now, but I'm going to hold off because I'm getting pretty tired and hungry. But this is a very successful prototype, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, there's this. Yeah. All righty. Well, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to clean this place up and get some real work done. But I will see you tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.